finna do is, I don't know if any of y'all have ever listened to old quartet music. Man, if you ever listen to an old quartet music, it's gonna be 4 men in the same outfit singing over and over again. Singing the same words. Unless it's the 5 Blind Boys of Alabama. And ain't nobody got the heart to tell them you can't have 5 people and be a quartet. So what I did today was I brought some fantastic singers with me today. We just gonna sing in a quartet way if y'all don't mind. If y'all don't mind right now, we just sing what's on our hearts. I don't wanna sing something that the young people can relate to, as well as the old people. I brought with me some fantastic singers. I brought with me Mr. Wink Dunn. Go ahead, Wink. Y'all receive Wink with you if you don't mind. One time for him, Wink.
Watch me whip.
Then do what else, Wink?
Watch me lady.
Sing it again, Wink. I don't know what you're saying. Say it one more time.
Oh, watch me whip.
Then do what, Wink? What we gonna do after that?
They gon' watch me lady.
Sometimes it get real good. Y'all haven't been whipping enough.
Whip, 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 whip. Watch me lady.
One more time, Wink. Yes.
Watch me lady.
When I went down to the south side of Chesapeake, I found a young man named Slater Joel.
Watch me whip.
Sing it, Slater.
Watch me lady. Watch me whip. Watch me lady. Listen, y'all. Listen. When I whip. Watch me, baby.
I don't think y'all heard him real time. One more time.
Just come on in. Watch me, baby.
Y'all bring it down real quick. Y'all bring it down. Shh. Nah. I don't know where you grew up at, but when I was a little boy, my grandmama used to say silly things to me as a child. I don't know if you ever had a grandmama to tell you something like, stop crying before I give you something to cry about. Well, how about you stop hitting me and I'll stop crying? I don't know where you grew up, but there was a form of corporal punishment when I was growing up. And your mama would make you walk out into the backyard to a bush. And she would tell you to grab a little something that she called a switch. Now, the thing with that switch was if you didn't get the right kind of switch, she'll send you right back outside and get 2 more so she could braid it up. I remember as a young child, I remember hearing my grandmama give me a switch and tell me, watch me do what? Oh. Then every now and again, she would go and hit me 3 times and she would just tell me, watch me do what? Watch me do what? Oh. You don't know what it's like when you get a full out beat and your grandmama hits you 8 times. She just go right into you. She just go in and just what?
Watch me, baby.
Last time. Y'all give it up for my singers.
Good morning. I just love the fact that me twerking is in my corner. I just love me twerking in the corner. Welcome to another edition of See You in the Morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. So excited to be here with y'all, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. I am excited about being in here, man. If this is your first time hearing this, you are about to experience something so cool. If you are a returning guest, well, thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. I am currently in Cleveland. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland, Ohio is where I is. I'm excited about being here. Had a show last night at the Cleveland Improv. The Cleveland Improvisational is what improv is short for. Was really excited, but that's not what we're here to talk about, man. Let's get into this show, man. First things first, y'all know how I do. If I have not sleeping with you, then I'm speaking with you. If I haven't seen y'all, I get on here, and first thing I do is I speak to everybody. It's just me being polite. It's just one of the things that I have to do. I have to come out and speak to people. Y'all were kind enough to be on the show and speak to me, so it's the least I could do. and speak to you all. So let me go ahead and get this speaking out the way. First and foremost, winning our special surprises. First off, good morning, bronze medal winner Fernita Rollins Del. Good morning, Fernita. So very tasty. Silver medal goes to Trouble. And gold medal goes to Crystal Sex Appeal. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also here today, uh, Jackie Bright Riddick and her amazing real estate firm. Eartha Garrett's in the building. Felicia, Sonia, not the worst, but the best. Christina Crystal Waters. Betty B.B. Burnett. The princess is here. Wilberta Carter. Chef, good morning. What an amazing woman. Joyce Brown. I don't know what that is, but that'll work. La Barbara is in the building. Lisa Lashaunda, all in the building. And it's Friday, so let's talk about a variety of things, man. Let's just go through it. Let's just get it knocked out of the way. One of the things I wanted to talk about, man, it's been a big debate. People have been debating. And I like when people debate. I love when people decide that we need to talk it out. And that's what's happening. People have been debating whether or not the new movie is out. It's Friday, so I can talk about anything. There's a new movie out called I was getting ready. I was looking up something I wanted to show y'all too. There's a new movie out called The Little Mermaid. And if you haven't seen The Little Mermaid and you don't, no, I don't know if you're missing anything or not, but if you haven't seen the controversy behind The Little Mermaid, it seems as though some of our less in tuned, some of our less enlightened friends aren't too excited about The Little Mermaid being out. We've got some people who are not very happy about The Little Mermaid being out. And the only reason they're not happy about The Little Mermaid being out is because The Little Mermaid seems to be a mermaid of color. And they're going to, historically, mermaids weren't black. So I always want to point out the fact that historically, mermaids weren't real. Sure, we've always had white mermaids out. Everything's been white. Everything at some point in time was white. At one point in time, the whole NBA was white. That's just how life was. Life used to just be white because they wouldn't let the blacks do things. And so now they got this young lady whose name confuses me, Halle Bailey. She's out there and she's not a Little Mermaid. And people are not ecstatic. Now, I know we blame people of a mayonnaise complexion, but it's not always them. Because every time a movie comes out, people are upset about it. There hasn't been a movie come out yet that somebody wasn't upset about it, especially when you start talking about movies that aren't real. When you start talking about Star Wars, there's always that one guy that insists that he knows everything about Star Wars and he knows what Star Wars should be. He feels like he can tell you whether Yoda should be green or blue or purple. He just seems to always know. And people will go to war. When you start talking about Marvel films, there's a lot of people that don't know Captain America is not real. Also, they don't know that Wakanda is not a real place. I always hate explaining to people that Wakanda is not a real place. It's sad. It's sad that people don't know. And black people are holding on to Wakanda as if that is a part of Africa. There's people right now probably trying to get their passports together so that they could go to Wakanda, not knowing Wakanda is not real, people. Wakanda is not a real place. Wakanda is a figment of Disney's imagination. I hate explaining it to some people. Some people really don't know that Wakanda is not a real place. And it hurts. It hurts. But now, I know Jackie, you were gonna set up. Jackie, you probably been trying to sell. You probably been trying to sell real estate in Wakanda. I can see it in your eyes. Not a real place. So now we got people all upset because historically mermaids have been white and they can't believe that there is a black mermaid. So that was argument number one. And I don't even care that people are upset about that. That's fine with me. Let the Mayo people be upset. They've been trying to give the movie bad reviews on purpose. It's all right. I get it. I understand what y'all are doing. But you know what the problem is? The new discussion. Yesterday was June 1st. If you don't know anything about June 1st is Pride Day. June 1st is the day that you can be proud. You can't be proud any other day. You can be proud on June 1st. June 1st is a day that the gays get together and they put on a colorful display of gayness. It's the gayest day of the year. Midway point of the year, gayest day of the year. June the 1st. Oh, it gets super gay. Oh, it's raining men. Oh, it's a lot of lady on lady love. That LOL, lady on lady, yes, sir. Everybody's got their liquor license. Gayest day of the year. And on the gayest day of the year, the debate has come, can you, should you, do you take your little boy to go see the Little Mermaid? Now, I know some of y'all are saying that seems very obvious. But I like to chime in on that debate. Do you take boys to see the Little Mermaid? I say only if they ask. Generally speaking, do I take a boy to see the Little Mermaid? No. I'm gonna tell you what. Yes, movies have gender. There are movies that are set out for boys and set out for girls. Now, it doesn't mean that you lose your sexuality because you took your son to the Little Mermaid. Just don't force him. Ask him, do you want to see the Little Mermaid? If he says yes, let him mermaid. If he says no, then don't mermaid him. Depending on the age, they're going to go see any movie. A lot of kids, if you just say, let's go to the movies, they're going to go. But Little Mermaid's not going to gay up your son. It's not. It's not. Just like going to see a Marvel film, it's not going to turn your daughter butch. It's not going to turn her into what the old people call a bulldagger. That was a classic line. I love it. Old people had some of the most rude stuff to say. Princess said, I took my grandson. He loved it. Now, how old is your grandson? A 4-year-old? Take him to see anything. They don't care. It's a talking crab. A lot of people do anything for a talking crab. A crab that sings, kiss the girl. Yeah, a 5-year-old's going to the movie just because you said, let's go to the movie. You can tell that 5-year-old, let's go see the birth of the Ku Klux Klan. And he's in because there's popcorn and there's candy and there's soda. He might sleep through the movie, but he'll enjoy going. You just let your kid decide. It's going to be some boys that just ain't into it. It's going to be some boys you be like, you want to go see the Little Mermaid? No, I'm good on that. Hey, it's going to be some girls. You ask them if they want to see the Little Mermaid, and they're going to be like, no. It's crazy to me what we decide to argue about. Why are we arguing over whether taking your little boy to see the mermaid is going to lead him to Pride Week? It's not. Look at Tam said, I love playing with Transformers versus Barbies. And it didn't make me love men any less. People do too much. That's right. Tam loved Transformers over Barbies. And look at her now. She has an amazing collection of wigs. That's the only thing Transformers made her do. She could transform to one Tam to the other. We never know who she is. Hair is always different. That's the only thing that changed. You can't put sexuality in everything. You just can't. You can't. That is not what that'll do. You grow up watching Transformers, you switch up on people at any time. You're more than meets the eye. You make somebody, I watch G.I. Joe all the time growing up. I've never been in the military. Me watching G.I. Joe did not lead me. It didn't. People are just dumb. People are just dumb. So I didn't get to participate in any Pride Day events. I didn't. But I did get to do an amazing show last night with some friends of mine. We participated in the show, and this is crazy that I would actually be allowed on the show. I'm going to try to find some pictures for y'all. The name of the show that I did on yesterday is called And Then We Had Sex. Yep, I'm not even gonna lie to you. That was the name of the show. I was allowed on a sex show. Yeah, yeah. There was discussions about people doing the nitty gritty. Yeah, yeah. I was able to come in and give a different view because, you know, I didn't have anything. I'd never been in that area. I'd never done the oochie coochie la la la. So I was unable to talk about it in a way like everybody else. They were able to talk about it. I was not. And so what we do is we do some audience participation stuff and we get to ask all kinds of questions. And they let me choose the question sometime. And when they let me choose the question, it's always going to be a question that could possibly ruin their relationship. Every time. Every time. Every time. I go right out there and ask questions that'll possibly ruin your relationship. Now they won't hunching at the show. That would be too much. If I walk up to the show and everybody's hunching, I'm gonna have to leave. I want to share this picture that I took in the streets of Cleveland. I just thought it was interesting. It's a picture of Prince holding a donut. I don't know why they just decided to draw Prince holding a donut, but I thought it was interesting. And so now y'all see Prince holding a donut. That was from the show last night. Prince holding a donut. When I think of Prince, I think of donuts, if we can be honest. We can be honest. And see, there it is. And then we had Sex Podcast. That's the name of the podcast. That's them on stage when I wasn't. It's hard for me to take pictures of myself on stage because I'm on stage. So one of the questions I asked, I'll tear the hotel up. One of the questions I asked yesterday, which was a decent question, and I'm gonna ask you guys because I asked the question, and I'm sure some of you people are married or in a relationship. And here's the question: if a gunman had a gun to your spouse's head, and they said, "We're gonna kill your spouse unless you let them sleep with one of your family members," which one of your family members are you going to allow them to sleep with? I'm going to ask it again. Gun to your spouse's head. Or we'll just have the person that you love, gun to their head, and they say, "We're going to kill them unless you allow them to sleep with one of your family members." Which one of your family members are you going to let them sleep with? I'm interested. Let me know. Tell me what y'all think. Roberta said, "Wow." What, wow. Roberta said, "My cat." Jackie says, "You can have any of them." Take they pick, just not my mom or kids. George says, "My half sister." These are some interesting answers. Roberta says the cat. Jackie said, "Pick a family member." Dolores said the dog. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm saying to Roberta and Dolores. Vernita said, "My god sister, take her. She's yours." Christina said, "My fifth cousin on my daddy's side." That's crazy. Now, what I was going to do to make it even worse is to have them pick which one. That's the one. That's the one. That's how you get the trouble started. Instead of letting y'all pick, let me let them pick. So if you had a gun in your head and they say, I'm going to kill you unless you sleep with one of their family members, which one of your family members are you going to let them have? Which one do you choose to sleep with? So now you make the choice. Which one of your spouse's family members would you sleep with to save your life? Nicole is giving up her older sister. Wow, Nicole Lewis and Bostic. Interesting. You'll give up your older sister. You'll be like, in order to save your life, hon, here's my sister, take her yams. I don't know, there's some evil person with the gun, James. I don't know who has the gun. I didn't give the person a name. James is sleeping with her cousin. You're making it, and see, here's the thing. Some of these answers are horrible. So Dolores has picked the dog and her pretend gay uncle. So now not only has your spouse gone from almost being dead, you've now emasculated him to bestiality and gayness. How are you taking them back after that? If you give that man up, you be like, to save your life, here's my uncle, sleep with my uncle. Now you change his sexuality. How does he come back from that? How does he come back from that? The cat, why the cat, Wilberta? You gonna make that man hold that cat? How do you see him the same after he slept with Mr. Friskers? You can't make a man sleep with Mr. Friskers. That's just wrong. It's wrong. Man on cat loving, that's not good. That is not good. Here's another question I love to ask. Here's another question that I like to ask. And y'all can say what you want to say. I think these are the questions that need to be asked in every relationship. I ask the people on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. To save a life, you do what you got to do. We'll work through therapy later. I like it. Joyce gave up the stepmom. I like it. Here's a good question. On a scale of 1 to 10, are we talking about being honest? And y'all can be really honest because your spouse probably ain't watching. Scale of 1 to 10, and we just talking sexual performance. Where do you rate your spouse? 10 being mind-blowing, the best you ever had. 1 being, I'm here, but in my mind, I'm watching Matlock. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put your spouse and or significant other? It could just be the person you're with right now. Scale of 1 to 10. Don't everybody type a number at the same time. I'm used to Marche being all quick. Now she like, Joyce, 5.5. A 6? Oh, wow. James, the 6? Jackie said an 11. Huh? She with the man. She's with the best she's ever had. She got Drake. Dolores said a 7. Lisa said, I ain't even gonna answer. Fernita gave hers a 10. Her spouse is significant numbers all the way at 10. Best she's ever had. So let's ask a question. I'm gonna just ask this. How does that affect the relationship? It's just a question that I have. How does that Matlock? How does that affect the relationship? If you got a 5.5 or 6, Nicole Lewis and Boston and my current dude is a 10. Best she's had. How does that affect your relationship if you ain't with a 10? If you're not with a 10, if you with a 3, how does that affect your relationship? Does that put a strain on your relationship? Do you ever think back to your 10? If you're in a relationship with your 4.5, do you think back to your 10 or do you just settle for your 4.5? Are you saying to yourself, I wish my 4.5 could move up 6 spaces? How do you deal with that if your current is not your 10? And I know sex and intimacy are different. I'm not talking about intimacy. I'm not talking about the number on the 10. And your 10 might be a 1 with somebody else. I get it. Chandler said, goodness well you ain't gonna marry the best you've ever had. That man ain't have a job or a driver's license. So the more a man brings to the table, the less he's bringing to the bed. Is that what you're saying, Chandler? If you get out there and he got your toes curled, your hair sweated out, and you got snot running out your nose, he can't be any good for you. He can't be any good for you. Even your 10 isn't consistently bringing a 10. Jane said everything else about my wife trumps the sex. So let's just ask. So one is we talking about a 1. Do you all feel like if your spouse hits everything else on your checklist? So for ladies, he's a great provider, he's a great possible parent, he treats you really nice, he respects you, he listens, he does all of those things, but he just can't get right in that bedroom. Fella, she cooks, she cleans, she keeps herself, looking fine. She don't nag you too much, but it's drier than the Sahara. Can you stay? How big of a role does sex play in relationships? How big of a role is that? How big of a role does sex play exact? If they meet every other box, but they just can't hunch. The Lord said, I done worked my man to death. I mean, everything else here 15. I destroyed him sexually. Shannon said it's a deal breaker. Shannon said it's a deal breaker. I don't care how great of a man you are. If you can't curl Shannon's toes, deuces. Jane says if your sex game is that good, then you can teach them to be all you want. So you should be able to teach them if you good. Brian says sex is 85% of the relationship. Jackie is saying it's the whole package. One thing doesn't outweigh the other. People don't seem to agree with you, Jackie. Shannon done kicked them out. Mr. Lover, she got to have it. Deal breaker. That's amazing. Wow. I had no idea. That's why I keep myself in a virgin status. Because now I don't have to worry about any of that. My answer is different at 25 from my answer at 45. You had more patience at 25 than at 45. Princess says, I think sex is overrated. Give me a good man. George says it depends on how old he is. So here's the thing. One of the things I hate to think about is old people hunching. I hate to think about 2 80-year-olds just in there, Charles, Margaret, Charles, Margaret, Charles, Margaret. Oh, you done did it now, Charles. I can't do that. I don't like to think about 2 old people. I think when people get real old, they could care less. I think when 2 old people get old, they could care less. I think they just in it to just live out their days. They just want to make sure somebody is there at the wedding. Now, 40, oh, now listen here, Chandler. I'm going to tell you what. In all the books that I've read, 40 is when it hits for ladies. It's so crazy because the peak just happened differently. Men peak about 25. That's when the man is at his very best. Every man can say no, but right here, 25 is where that man is peaking. At 25, a woman is healed. You start to go older, and you get older, you get healed. So once you hit 40, that lady's here. That man, the game's gotten to him. The game has gotten to him. You got to watch them when they hit 40. At 40, they starting to go to those fun parties. At 40, they starting to have friends who do different stuff. And listen, at 40 for a woman, that sex can get like your car keys. You put them anywhere. That's one thing I said. I don't ever know where my car keys are gonna go, and that's what those women do at 40 plus from the books that I've read. 40 and out of control. There's a lot of women that finally gotten in touch with their body, literally and physically. A lot of ladies is out of control at 40. They've gotten in touch with their body, they know what they want, and they've also reached a sexual maturity point that they can tell you, this is what I like. I like this. I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. Brian say teaching them, it ain't the same. It ain't the same if you got to teach it to them. Brian's a coach. I don't know if he's a sex coach, but he might be. I don't know. Brian's a handsome guy. He's out that thing. The ladies love Brian, man. He takes pictures with no shirts on. The ladies love some Brian. So he might be a sex coach. Marcia said, I ain't got time to teach. Either but here's the thing. I believe everybody has to teach somewhat what's going on with them. I think men make the mistake, from what I'm understanding, is believing that every move is going to work with everybody. You're going to have to learn her one way or another. Sometimes you think the windmill 3000 has been your go-to move. It's like basketball. Some guys get in the paint and they know the fadeaway is they move. And the fadeaway has worked on every player. But now and again, you run into a guy that blocks the fadeaway every time. So what's your next move? You got to have another move. Your go-to move ain't gonna work on everybody. So I think you gotta learn the lady. Even if you go in, you be like, I'm gonna give her my go-to. It's not gonna work. I mean, some people like the ground and pound. There's some ladies that like the ground and pound. Give it to me rough, beat me up, all of that. Some ladies are gentile. You gotta learn each other. So you can't say, ladies, y'all can't teach. Because each time you all enter into that position, there is a learning process going on. He's learning some things. Barbita said you got to learn each other to make it work. Ladies, the same thing you did to that guy ain't the same thing that's going to work on the next guy. The man needs to learn their woman. Once he conquers that, talk about explosive. Explosions all over the place. It's stuff leaking everywhere. You can never keep any sheets clean. Listen and learn. But see now, Marche, you're saying listen and learn, but in the same token, you said you ain't got time to teach. Which one is it, Marche? Are you teaching? Or you talking about you don't have time to teach somebody who just has a complete inadequacy? You can't get the basics down. See, that's my fear. As a virgin, when I get in there the first time, how will I know what to do? And I guess nature has given us all some tools that we can use. And I'm gonna have to use my research material. It's not teaching, it's learning what your woman likes. So you gotta adjust yourself. That's my biggest fear. How do I get in there and learn? I guess it's gonna be rough, you know. Sometimes it takes one margarita, sometimes it takes three. I call that the Bill Cosby method. Ex- Brian says you gotta have experience. So you gotta come to the table experience. So last question, and I'm gonna ask you this. So since experience matters, does a body count matter? That's always a popular topic. People are always wondering about that body count. I know fellas have been taught that whatever the body count is, whatever she tells you the body count is, add 5. If she tell you she's been with 3, she's been with 8. If she tells you she's been with 10, she's been with 35. I know not you don't want to ask. Now why ask? Leave that alone. You can start to assume if she tells you, hey, that's my ex, you might want to count off exes. If you keep running into exes, she keep telling you stories about exes, and she done got up to like 15, 16 exes she told you about, you can add all of them in. Who cares? Body count doesn't matter. Women always lie. They don't. Only guys care about it. So ladies, you telling me, ladies, that y'all don't care about a man's body count? If a man comes in and he says, hey, look, man, I'm Wilt Chamberlain, thousands, slayed them. I've slayed thousands. Chandler, you get me. I'm the same. Religion makes it a problem since church says no sex before marriage. How do you get experience with no practice? Here's the thing. Everything else we do in life, you never buy, especially something you about to make a commitment with. Marriage is more of a commitment than buying a car. And they let you test drive a car. Why can't you test drive before you get married? You got to test drive it. Kick the tires a little bit. See if it's something you like. Because then you end up in a marriage with somebody and y'all ain't compatible. It doesn't matter. He's going to lie anyway. If you never practice, you'll never know. That's what I'm saying. You gotta, you gotta give them. You gotta let them get something into it. Now, so here's the question. So y'all say body count don't matter. Oh no, oh this dude look a little jailish behind me, but no, this is just the lobby of the hotel. So here's the problem. Here's the thing then. Since body count doesn't matter, are there people that do? If you are getting into a potential relationship, who are the people that they could not have slept with? If they've slept with your best friend, can you still go with it? Is it a cousin? Is it family? Which one? Which one? Since your body count doesn't matter, since it's not the matter since it doesn't matter the number, do the who's matter? Do the who's matter? So Joy says if he's been with my sister, it's a no go. So he needs to reveal that. So you don't care about the number of people, but the particular people do matter. If he's been with your sister, nah, it's a no go from that point. Very interesting. There's a list of the who. So the who matters, just not a cousin. Lasha Unda. Let's talk it out, especially in the black family. Black people's cousins list runs long. Like you can knock off somebody's cousin and not know. I love going in the. I did. I'm not in the lobby. I'm in the business center. I came to the business center, Princess. Stop being messy. If he's been with any of your family members, then all bets are off. Sisters, friends, cousins, aunts, mama, grandma. What if you didn't know? What if I hit one of your cousins? Me and your cousin had a fling. We did what we did. It's a second cousin. It's not a cousin you see all the time. Me and you have gotten into a relationship. We together at this point. You're like, come with me to my family reunion. I come with you to your family reunion. We walk in awkwardly. I'm like, hey, Tasha, how you? She's like, oh, how you doing? And you realize, oh, you know my cousin? Yeah, biblically. I knew your cousin biblically. Are you out? Dolores, you out? If he knew that was your cousin and didn't tell you, it's a red flag. I get that part. So now it's just a conversation. So it's not a no-go, but it is a conversation. You slept with my cousin. Interesting. He not that cousin now. Now, if he not your grandma out, so if I knew your cousin, if I knew that was your cousin, and I did it, and I didn't tell you, that's a problem. But how does a man come about it? Marche was like, oh well, welcome to the family. We keep it in the family. That is interesting. You don't go with the Suge Avery, you had it your way, I had it mine. Comparing cousins, but we always compare, right? Everybody compares. Everybody's like, man, I had one girl, man, the way that she made my left butt cheek quiver, nobody has ever done before. Instantly repulsed, and you gotta go. Wow. He's checked every box, but he just happened to sleep with your cousin, and you found out at a family reunion. What if you found out at the wedding? Chandler, what if y'all got to the point where y'all was getting married and y'all be like, let's send out invitations. I'm sending out an invitation to Tasha Davis. And you was like, Tasha Davis? I know a Tasha Davis. Oh, yeah, that's my cousin. Oh, really? Man, me and her had a fling once. Wedding is off? Is the wedding off? That's, oh, is the wedding off? Wedding is off. Wow. Wedding is off. Really? Wedding is off. You done got all the way to the point where you okay with marrying that person. And you like, I'm done. Y'all ladies are serious about that thing too. I don't think men care. I don't think men care. They'll just be like, she can't sit up front. I don't think men care. I think men will be like, oh man, that's crazy. I done knocked out two in the family. the Lord said the wedding is still going on. The George said, well, I had one of yours too. Refund? If it was a high school fling, I'd be all right. And we grown now, and it was in high school. Sean says he'd care. Man. I just be like, nothing is stronger than family. Now that's Sean said, unless it was one of my girl cousins, then I don't care. Wow. Welcome to Pride Month. Men definitely care. Sheesh. Man, you guys are learning me something good here. You guys are learning me something good. If you live in a small area, it's bound to happen. Some places, I grew up in the state capital, the state of Virginia's capital. I grew up in this capital city, Portsmouth, and Portsmouth's not a big city. You've slept if you've had more than one sexual encounter in Portsmouth, you've probably slept with some cousins. If not, at least a friend. I think if you live in a small town, ladies, the chances that your man has slept with one of your homegirls, very high. Maybe not your tight sister circle, but you've definitely broke bread with some people who've broke bread. Some of y'all have had the same meat in your mouth, especially if you live in a small town. Especially when you start talking about high school. A lot of guys slept with everybody in high school. And then you get grown, yeah, he has probably slept with at least 3 people you invited to the wedding. 3 people in that reception have not only tasted the dessert there, but have tasted the dessert of your wife. You're gonna have to accept it, sir. And I think it plays with a man's mind. I don't know how it plays with a woman's mind, but if a man meets somebody that slept with his wife or significant other, it's never really comfortable. You had one that you knew, but you knew all the dudes that she had been with. And for fellas, it's always that one guy that's just a deal breaker. Oh, she was with Tony Eveready? Can't do it. I wouldn't even have cared if it was Mr. Marcus, but she did him, and I know how he gets down. No. Old people always ask, who's your people? Who your people? It's crazy. Get ready to get out of here, man. I'm getting ready to leave Cleveland. I got to get out of here, man. Cleveland's been great. I'll be back in the 757 of Virginia in just a few hours, man. It's not far. I'm excited, man. This has been great. Great talk. Welcome to our TED Talk. We talk relationships, we talk sex, we talk everything. Next week, we're going sex free, just like my life. Next week is a virgin week with no sex talk. Marche, get yourself under control. Next week, we're going sex free. We're going back family friendly, child proof. Even though the ratings have been through the roof because sex sells. I'm getting ready to go, man. Got to get out of here. Hope everybody has a fantastic time. Hope you have a great, great weekend. If you're celebrating some pride stuff, whether it's because you're coming out or you just came out because the gays have great parties, whatever you do, enjoy yourself. Remember, man, we got to be more accepting of others. Yep, yeah, gay people have their quote unquote transgression waved out on their sleeve. That you let them know what their perceived sin is. If you don't agree with them being gay, they might not agree with you being stupid. But they wear that gay on their sleeve, and you can't figure out how to put on your shirt. We can't judge people because of what they do. All we can do is love them anyway. I'm loving everybody this weekend. I mean, not literally, but just love everybody, man. Have a good time, man. We getting out of here. Love y'all guys, man. Awkward pause. Cleveland rocked. I'm out.